Hello and welcome to the series where I take ruined model trains. Now it's very laboured, it's emitting a deathly screech, and try to put them back on track. If I succeed, they'll work again. Oh yes, yes, great. But if I fail, they will be left to the mercy of the evil Scrapman. The Time-O-Matic machine will give me a limited time to repair each engine, but if the engine still doesn't work when the time runs out, the Scrapman will come knocking. Welcome to Salvage or Scrap. Without any further ado then, it's time to introduce those long-suffering locos who have sadly run out of steam. Remember, these have all been through hell and they're all in desperate need of some TLC. Today's patient is a 1976 Rivarossi 19th century American 440, and it really is absolutely beautiful. Time to find out what I'm dealing with. This engine is a little dirty, but cosmetically it really looks to be nearly perfect. All of the details seem to be intact, even down to the handrails and other tiny parts. So I'm guessing then that the issues are purely mechanical. Well, to find out, let's initiate that power test. Yeah, okay, so this is pretty much dead. It's making quite a loud buzzing noise, and I have had some jerks out of this one or two, but it's far from a fully working model. So this engine just needs a complete mechanical overhaul. Right, how long have I got to get this Loco working again? Time-O-Matic, if you will. 30 minutes. Wow, that's not very long. I am a little bit apprehensive about this one because I just won't know what's wrong until I get that body off. 30 minutes sounds like a reasonably good amount of time, but if it turns out anything is seriously wrong, then that 30 minutes is going to turn into a nightmare. So I'm going to have to get the body off, do a quick inspection of everything, have a look at that motor, service everything, and just fingers crossed I can do it all within 30 minutes. So I'm going to go prepare and then I'll give this a try. Remember, my rule says that I'm not allowed to shop online for any replacement parts. I can use what I've already got in my stores, and I can 3D print brand new parts, but if I do, they must be printed within the time limit. Right, I think I'm ready to do this. 30 minutes, let's get this train back on the track. 3, 2, 1, start. Right, so I've only got 30 minutes, that's not a huge amount of time. I don't have time to be taking this thing downstairs to clean it because it's not that bad and it's not one of my really requirements to clean this. So I think just a quick once over with the brush should sort us out, and already this thing has come up really nice. So that is a perfect shortcut. Already there's a problem. I have absolutely no idea how to remove the tender body. I'm trying everything, I'm trying to pull it off, I'm trying to lever it off with my screwdriver, almost damaging it actually doing that. It's super stiff, I just cannot get it off. And I'm going to damage the body if I don't start being a bit more careful. So yeah, I didn't really want to have to start taking these bogies off because they look complicated. And I'm down 2 minutes already according to the Time-O-Matic machine, so this is really going to have to get done quick. But I'm about to make a discovery. I've found some screws. How did I not see those? Man. Right, is the body loose? Yes, the body is now loose. Great. Okay, I can get this off. Let's disconnect Loco and tender so I can have good access to the motor. Great, no wires to worry about or anything. Okay, put the Loco to one side. I'm hoping that won't take a lot of fixing. We have these sort of hexagonal drive shafts. Very interesting, seems to do the job though. So I'm going to have to dismantle this motor, I'm guessing. Yeah, these motors are not the easiest things in the world to deal with. And already I'm struggling to get the screws out. All these little setbacks could seriously stop me finishing this one on time. Oh, come on. And now there's an even more serious problem with the motor. This time it's not just a matter of not seeing the screws, I actually can't get the motor apart. The metal lugs that hold the motor together are just way too strong. Wow, this is tough. How am I going to get this out? Oh, this is not good. There's one of the brushes. Put that to one side. I need a better solution. Well, that's not going to work. How do I get into this? I've even sustained a minor injury trying to get this thing apart. I still can't do it. Okay, so I cannot get into the motor. It's just not going to happen. The metal that it's held together with is too tough, which means I can't clean the commutator. I've wasted nearly 10 minutes and I still haven't started yet. So I'm going to have to just oil it and try and get the motor resuscitated without dismantling it. That's not a nice thing at all. I can clean up the brushes and the springs at least. Let's try that. Man, this is a disaster. I can't open up the motor. This seriously reduces the chances of me producing a model that works at the end of all this. That's not good. Well, this seems to be spinning freely enough. So let's pop the brushes back in and just see if I can jumpstart this motor somehow. Everything was screwed together and it was going great because I was just able to unscrew everything very easily until it came to the actual motor itself, which is just like folded together. It's not ideal. Right. Let's try some power to the motor. Is this motor actually going to work without me accessing the commutator? There is a chance that it will. It is good news though. The motor, as you can see, is running excellently. That's a very close shave, but I think I might get away with this. Just verify that it is actually going to stay working. Come on, baby. Starting to sound a little bit healthier already. It is actually. Yeah, I can hear this thing improving as it runs in, which is pretty good. I don't know if it's going to be a crawler. That remains to be seen. Okay, fine. We've got to move on. Can't linger on that one anymore. So now it's just a case of reassembling that tender chassis. Right, so I've got to screw the motor back onto its mount, which is live to the bogies, I believe. These are very awkward. I've got to say though, the quality of this seems a bit higher than on the sort of Airfix and Bachmann versions of this model I've looked at. So that's a good sign. Maybe this will work a bit better too, hopefully. The bogies are going to be picking up from this side. So these are the little pieces that actually need to conduct power, so it's really important that those are nice and clean. And then the bogie sits on top. I'm servicing the axles so carefully because they do pick up power from one rail. Not only do they have to be clean, but they also have to be fitted to the chassis in the right direction. Get the direction wrong and the engine will short out the controller and the Loco won't run, and what's more, I'll have to disassemble it again, which I don't have time for. Let me also clean the wheels while I'm at it. It's just these wheels that need to be clean really. Right, let's get the other bogie back in position. So there's the bogie frame. These are the bits that need to be good and clean. Right, and let's pop this bogie assembly back in place, observing the correct polarity. So, that's a fast way of drying this. Oh yes, I need to put the lubricant on it. All right. Timer-matic, how long have I got? Oh, we've just dipped below the 15-minute mark, so I've had just over halfway. Okay, that's not so bad, that's not so bad. I'm really gutted that the motor disassembly didn't go better. That's really frustrating. But never mind, what can you do? Now it's time to turn my head towards the Loco itself. Now please tell me that I'll be able to easily access the axles on this. I think I will. Oh yes, thank goodness for that. Okay, and I think I've seen a problem. There's some pickup wipers inside there. They're not wipers, they're like plunger type things, and they look like they're all cacked up. So if they're filthy and stopping power conducting, that might give us a reason why the Loco is no longer working. It really is a nice and easy job to clean these pickups. They're very easy to access and the dirt is coming off them very easily too, which is great. Let's clean out the bearings and let's clean the axle as well. There we go. And this axle's got fluff on it, which won't be doing it much good. Oops. Oh man, that looks awful. Look at that. I've just taken a big swab of something disgusting off the main gear, so I'm going to have to clean that up with the toothbrush, I expect. Oh yeah, that looks better already. I'm going to want to try and get some lubricant onto the drive shaft down there, because I can see there's a bearing down there, so let's just do that. Plenty of it. So now I'm attempting just a partial reassembly, just to test whether each wheel is actually making contact and picking up power for the Loco. I think it's going to be a bit fiddly to refit the bogie on this one. I'm going to have to just go for it. No, it's not too fiddly. I've managed to get the spring in position. Okay, that's good. Timer-matic, how long have I got? Well, yikes, we're at less than 10 minutes and I haven't even done a full mechanical test of this yet. Okay, so I need to unite the Loco and tender back together again now. This is an important connection between Loco and tender. If this doesn't work right, we're going to get a problem. I'm guessing I should put the drive shaft on now. It's going to be too difficult to do that once it's attached. So, drive shaft in there. This is like the final puzzle piece. In there it goes, and then couple the two together. I now need that little tiny screw which stops those from coming apart again, which is a feature I really like. Takes a bit longer for maintenance though. Now, do I have power? That's the big question. Ooh. Ah, great. Okay, that's a good sign. That's a really, really good sign. So I need to clean these wheels now. Seriously, for a second there, I thought this was going to the scrap man. I think it's quite the miracle that this thing is actually working as well as it is, given that I haven't accessed the motor properly. Yikes. Now I really am into the final minutes of the project. Time is ticking away, so I really have to reassemble that tender, refit the body and the coal load. I'm sorry, tender body, that I tried to tear you off with brute force. That's not normally the way I roll with these things, but today it was. Final screw would have been easier without the bogies fitted, but I think in the overall it would have been more difficult to do it that way. There, right, I think we're all back together except for the coal, but that doesn't really affect anything. Is everything still working now that it's back together? But there's a huge problem. Time's running out, but the engine doesn't seem to be working. Yikes. What's the matter? I think the wire that I pushed out of the way to put the body on might be pushing on the drive shaft and stopping it from turning. Time for another disassembly. This time it's got to be fast. I've got 4 minutes to identify the problem and solve it. Yes, it is. There's a wire pushing on the drive shaft. So it's a case of seating this body without disturbing that wire. Man, I do not like that I've had to do this twice. Right, I've got 3 minutes and I'm starting to panic. I can feel myself starting to panic because I can't get this screw in. Come on, come on. Alright, the screw is in. Trying to keep calm. Right, I hope then that that wire is now not in the way anymore. Let's try. The Loco works at long last. The coal load goes back in, which is coal and not logs or anything for a change. Yep, that was a decisive click. And I think that is it for this one. Alright, Timer-matic, you can stop the clock there. Wow, that was pretty close, 1 minute 50. Okay, well, let's take this back to the workshop and find out whether it now works. Ooh, I hope so. So there is the patient back in the workshop, ready for that all-important final inspection. Here's what it looked like before. It actually didn't look too bad. It was a little bit dirty, if anything, but there was nothing missing or anything like that. The main problem was, of course, the performance. I think I got one jerk of the wheels out of this. Apart from that, the locomotive was dead. And here, for comparison, is how it looks now. Much the same in terms of appearance, a little bit cleaner perhaps, but that is pretty much all. But does this Loco actually work now? Let's initiate that final power test. Yes, thank goodness. Okay, so that is just running like a trooper now, isn't it? I was concerned, you know, are there going to be things pressing on the motor? Is it not going to work properly during the final inspection? Well, I needn't have worried because it does seem like it's absolutely fine. So I can confirm that the Loco has been successfully salvaged and it is officially safe from the evil Scrapman. So let's take a look at the leaderboard of repair times. As you can see, this salvage comes in right between the other two in second place, so that's not too bad. That's officially not the slowest I've ever salvaged a locomotive. So the only thing left to do now is to send the Loco back out into the world and back onto the railway. There it goes. For now though, job done. I'll see you next time on Salvage or Scrap.